Yes, very good morning to you all. We are entering into the last phase of the freedom struggle. I told you in yesterday's class, okay, end of the Quit India movement, the end of the freedom struggle. What were the subsequent developments in the nationalist movement? Okay. The developments you see by 1944, the war situation turned, quite clear. In a sense, you see, World War II was going on, right? At the war front, the Allied powers were making great strides. They are about to win the war. Okay. Germany was attacked both from the west and the east. Okay. From the west, you see US, France, England attacking Germany. Soviet Union attacking Germany from the east. That made Hitler, okay, to commit suicide. Okay. Germany, you see, could not withstand the pressure from the Allied forces. Mussolini was shot dead. Okay. See this, with the war situation, this is what I told you. Okay, definitely war was turning in favor of the Allied powers. Okay. Now the question before the Allied powers, I mean Indian leadership, was how to sort out the differences with the league. Okay. Why? Because okay, it was now certain England is definitely going to give power to India. Why? Because England very badly affected England. It's not the same England before the war. Okay. War brought lot of destruction for England's economy. Okay. And it turned very difficult for England to survive the war. Okay. So England that was very badly affected England. How long it will remain powerful? That is the question. Okay. So a battered England definitely would transfer power to India. Okay. It's just a matter of time. England not in a position to rule India. Okay. So the question, what type of India we are going to get? Okay. Because Muslim League already demanded for Pakistan. So Indian leadership decided to sort out its differences first with Muslim League. Understand? In this regard, you see Rajagopalachari, Chakravarti Rajagopalachari, we call him CR. Okay. He took the lead. With the permission of Gandhi, CR worked out a formula, what you call it as CR formula. Okay. August 1944, CR formula was put before Muslim League. Okay. On the basis of this formula, discussions were held. Right. First of all, what is this formula all about? Okay. There's a direct question in UPSC. What was CR formula? Why Jinnah rejected it? Okay, that was for 30 marks. Okay. Now CR formula says, number one, that until the war comes to an end, let there be an interim government at the center by Congress and Muslim League. Let there be an interim government at the center with Congress and Muslim League. Next, Muslim League to support the transfer of power, the demand of transfer of power to India unconditionally. Now, with regarding the question of Pakistan, you see the formula provided for number one, to constitute a committee to demarcate the Muslim majority provinces. Okay. What are the Muslim majority provinces? You have Muslim majority provinces in the northwest and the east. Okay. I mean, Bengal, Assam in the east. Northwest, you see Punjab, Sindh, and WFP. Right. So demarcate Muslim majority provinces, number one. Next, number two, plebiscite on the question of Pakistan. Let there be a plebiscite. Okay, plebiscite on the question of Pakistan. Okay, in this Muslim majority provinces. If plebiscite comes in favor of Pakistan, Muslim League will not have any objection for Pakistan. Pakistan would be accepted. Okay. Next, in the event of Pakistan becoming a reality, if plebiscite coming in favor of Pakistan and Pakistan becoming a reality, then there shall be a joint control between India and Pakistan. See these things. CR formula provided for a joint control between India and Pakistan on currency, communications and defense. Defense, currency and communications, there shall be a joint control between India and Pakistan. Next, okay, if plebiscite goes against Pakistan, the League shall not rake this idea again. Are you understanding? If plebiscite goes against the idea of Pakistan, then the League shall not raise its voice again, demanding for Pakistan. Okay. These are the proposals called, this is what's called CR formula. I will come again. CR formula, number one, okay, demarcation committee, right like this. Demarcation committee. Demarcation committee for demarcation of Muslim majority provinces. Muslim majority provinces. Muslim majority provinces in the north, east and the west. Demarcation of Muslim majority provinces in the north, east and the west. Number one. Number two, okay, plebiscite. Plebiscite on the question of Pakistan. On Pakistan. Right. Next, number three. Okay. If plebiscite comes in favor of Pakistan, Pakistan would be accepted by the Congress party. If plebiscite goes against the idea of Pakistan, then Muslim League shall not raise the issue Pakistan again. Okay. Next, number three. If Pakistan becoming a reality, then joint control. Joint control between India and Pakistan, where in defense, currency and communications. Communications. Okay. Joint control between India and Pakistan in defense, currency and communications in three areas. Okay. Next, number four. For getting Pakistan or not getting Pakistan, Muslim League must give its unconditional support for the transfer of power. Okay. Until the transfer of power takes place, then there would be a joint, then there would be an interim government at the center, duly represented by Congress and the Muslim League. Okay. This is CR formula. Hope you are clear. In other words, formula was for what? Muslims to decide the question, Pakistan, not the Muslim League. Hope you are getting the point. For Rajaji's formula, Muslims should decide the idea of Pakistan, but not Muslim League. Let Muslims decide. Why? Because you see the problems, intricate problems here. Okay. Who wanted Pakistan? Understand this point very clearly. Okay. Majority section of the Indian Muslim society was not for Pakistan. Understand? In what way it is going to solve the problem? I am telling you, even after the formation of the Muslim League, in his last days, Jinnah regretted. Okay. He played the game for his personal interest, for his identity, for his recognition. Okay. Everyone knew it's not going to solve the problem. There is no question of Muslims of India going to Pakistan and non-Muslims of Pakistan coming over to India. Did Muslims of India all go to Pakistan? Tell me. We have today more Muslims than that of Pakistan, right? more Muslim population than that of Pakistan in India today. Okay, how would it solve the problem? And is partition really a solution to the problem of the Muslim? What problem of the Muslim? How it is going to, solve the problem? Okay. So it's Pakistan, the concept itself is a meaningless concept. Understand? There are fears. I will tell you, I will discuss in detail later on this. Okay. So here, Rajaji and Congress party in general knew, more so Congress and Rajaji, Jinnah himself knew this, that majority Muslims were not for Pakistan. Please understand one thing. In yesterday's class, I forgot to tell you one important point. In the 1937 elections, you remember Congress formed governments in 8 provinces, right? Okay. In the 37 elections, Congress got more the number of the Muslim votes than Muslim League. Okay. Muslim League could not form government anywhere. Okay. Including Muslim majority provinces. Okay. They could not form the government, right? So it's a fact, it's a known fact that Muslims in general are not for Pakistan, were not for Pakistan. Right. So that's why, Rajaji is asking for a plebiscite. Okay, knowing it very well that plebiscite will not come in favor of Pakistan. He is suggesting for Pakistan. Get the point. Even if Pakistan becomes a reality, see the formula. What does it say? Joint control. That too in a very crucial departments. In crucial departments, defense, currency and communications between India and Pakistan. Okay, how would it ensure independent Pakistan, independent, and the point here is joint control between India and Pakistan finally would be the control of India only. Definitely India, stronger India. Okay. And plebiscite, and Muslims are not for voting in favor of Pakistan. And plebiscite in the Muslim majority provinces means, you have non-Muslims also. Okay. That means even non-Muslims also participate. Definitely you have to give them the right to take part in the plebiscite. When Muslims themselves are not favorably inclined for Pakistan, okay, obviously you can't expect non-Muslim to vote for Pakistan, right? So there is no choice of plebiscite coming in favor of Pakistan. Number one. Okay. These are the, intricate issues here. Okay. Jinnah rejected CR formula. Jinnah rejected CR formula saying what? Moti eaten, mutilated and maimed. Moth eaten. Moth means insect. How the formula looks like? It looks like moth eaten, insect stricken formula, bitten by insects. Okay. It looks ugly. Okay. Maimed. Okay. Because it's not a formula not worked out in the genuine interest of the Muslims. Maimed. Maimed means with ulterior motive. And mutilated. Okay. It has no consistency. Okay. Now I am giving you the specific reasons why Jinnah rejected it. Jinnah rejected CR formula for the reasons number one. Okay. Number one. Okay. Jinnah not confident of winning the plebiscite. Not confident of winning the plebiscite. Number one, I told you the reason. Winning plebiscite. Okay. You may ask me a question. When Jinnah was not clear about Pakistan and the people's support for Pakistan, why he continued to talk about Pakistan? I will answer all your questions later. For Jinnah, Pakistan would be a very good bargaining point in the discussions against Congress party. Are you understanding? When you are going for discussion, put your demand at a very high level. Okay. Give me Pakistan. Give me Pakistan. Otherwise, ABCD. So for Jinnah, Pakistan is a very good bargaining point, my dear, in the discussions with Congress party. Okay. Honestly speaking, Jinnah himself was not, for Pakistan. Okay. He was not for Pakistan. I'll tell you later why. Okay. and he was not convinced about the idea. He knew that Muslims are not for Pakistan. So why CR formula rejected? The reasons: number one, Jinnah himself not confident of winning the plebiscite. His objections: number two, okay, non-Muslims are also non-Muslims also take part in the plebiscite. Okay, non-Muslims role in the plebiscite. Okay, plebiscite formula provided for plebiscite, right? Non-Muslims also would take part in the plebiscite. So there is more so no reason for plebiscite, coming in favor of Jinnah and Pakistan, right? Third important reason is Jinnah had serious objections against joint control. Okay, joint control, okay, finally means control of India. Okay, so he was not for a joint control. Next, number four, okay, you see, participating in the plebiscite, there's no chance of plebiscite coming in your favor, right? And losing the concept of the idea of Pakistan means, okay, party Muslim League will become ideologically, bankrupt. Ideologically bankrupt. Okay, means you will lose the, basis. What is the strength of Muslim League? Strength of Muslim League is the concept of Pakistan, right? That is the strong point of Muslim League. Pakistan. Okay, if you lose plebiscite means, okay, the idea of Pakistan is defeated. When the idea of Pakistan is defeated, you cannot have any right to demand for that again, right? So these are all the reasons why Jinnah rejected CR formula. I am telling you, my dear, again, CR formula rejected by Jinnah because number one, Jinnah not confident of winning the plebiscite. Number two, non-Muslims' role will also be there. Jinnah was against non-Muslim participation in the plebiscite. Next, number three, joint control between India and Pakistan would be control of India only. Next, number four, Muslim League will become ideologically bankrupt. The strength of Muslim League is Pakistan. If they lose the plebiscite, means they are the losers. They will not have any confidence, to face the public tomorrow, right? That's why Jinnah rejected the formula. Okay. So CR formula was rejected by Jinnah. That means the stalemate continued, communal deadlock continued between Congress and Muslim League. Okay. They could not arrive at any compromise. Right. Then what happened? When CR formula was rejected by Jinnah, Gandhi took the initiative. Okay. Gandhi-Jinnah talks were held. Okay. In September 1944. Okay. September 1944, Gandhi-Jinnah talks were held. Okay. Gandhi, now listen, I told you yesterday's class. Gandhi was the leader of Congress or representative? He is mere representative. Gandhi-Jinnah talks, okay, were held, okay, and these talks failed. They were held in September 1944 and the talks failed. Why the talks failed? Talks failed when Jinnah insisted that he should be recognized as the sole representative of the Muslims. For Jinnah, Congress party means the party of the Hindus. Understand? Jinnah Congress party representative means representative of Hindus. Okay. Jinnah was for recognizing, okay, himself as the sole representative of the Muslims. That is not acceptable to Congress party. The problem here is if you accept Jinnah, as the sole leader of the Congress party, you are undermining the dignity of Maulana Abul Kalam Azad, Ansari, secular-minded Muslim leaders in the Congress party. So how will you recognize Jinnah as the sole representative of Muslims? Number one. Next, number two, within Muslim League also, amongst the Muslims outside Congress party also, Jinnah's leadership not acceptable, okay, to other leaders. You see, in Punjab you have, Sikandar Bakht, very powerful leader. Okay. Hayat Khan, very powerful leader. Okay. What did they accept Jinnah as the leader? Similarly, Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan in NWFP, Khan Sahib, they never accepted Jinnah as the leader. Okay, which group Jinnah is representing in the Muslims? Understand? So there are reservations of the Congress party. There are objections for Congress party to accept Jinnah as the sole leader. Okay, that's why Gandhi Jinnah talks ended up as failure. That means what? The deadlock continued. Okay. In 1945 January, okay, in 1945 January, okay, an understanding was, proposed. It had not reached. Okay. A plan was worked out called Desai Liaquat Plan or Desai Liaquat proposals were worked out. Okay. You see, okay, Bhulabhai Desai, he was the leader of the Congress party in the Central Legislative Assembly. Okay. With the permission of Gandhi, okay, he made an attempt to appease the Muslim leaders and to find the way out. Right? Okay. In January, you have Desai Liaquat proposals. Desai, D-E-S-A-I, Liaquat. Proposals. This was January 1945. Okay. What did they propose? Okay. Okay. This, you see, Desai, Bhulabhai Desai, met Liaquat Ali, and 1945 January, I told you, both worked out a set of proposals. They were made public in April 1945. The proposals are: number one, nomination of equal number of persons in Central Executive, that means Governor General's Executive Council, nomination of equal number of members. That means Congress and Muslim League must have proportionate representation in the Executive Council of the Governor General. Right? Then you see representation of minorities, like scheduled caste and also the Sikhs must be given there in the Executive Council. Okay. Then interim government would be formed. Okay. A government was to be formed and was to function within the framework of the Government of India Act 1935. Okay. So Desai Liaquat proposals were what? Number one, in Governor General's Executive Council of Governor General, there must be equal representation for Congress and Muslim League. Right. There must also be representation for depressed classes, scheduled tribes, and other communities of India. Right. Then you see, you will have the functioning of this Executive Council as per Government of India Act. As per the 35 Act, the Executive Council will function. Okay. So this is basically Desai Liaquat Pact, there is a proposals. They are basically meant for working out a solution, working out a problem. Right. Working out a solution to the problem of communal divide between Congress and the Muslim League, right? But they did not materialize. Okay, they had not seen the light. Okay, they remained as mere only proposals, right? Just remember, an attempt was made. Then what happened? By 1945, World War II, had come to an end. 1945, right? 1945, August, atom bombs were dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, August 1945. Japan surrendered, right? Okay, Hitler, all I told you already, Hitler and his followers, they committed suicide. Mussolini was shot dead, right? Japan continued to fight, the only power left out. Okay. In spite of the warnings given by US, Japan continued to fight. Okay. Even after atom bomb dropped on Hiroshima, okay, Japan continued its fight for another 1 week. Right? Another atom bomb was to be dropped on Nagasaki. Finally, Japan surrendered. War ended. Okay. Before the end of the war, I mean August 1945, in June, right, 2 months before that, okay, in June, Governor General Wavell, okay, after Linlithgow, you have Wavell the Governor General. Okay. Governor General Wavell, okay, he worked out a plan, having consulting the Prime Minister Churchill, right, okay, and Secretary of State, okay, he worked out a plan. That plan is what is called Wavell Plan, W-A-V-E. Wavell Plan, P-L-A-N, June 1945. Wavell Plan. Okay. What is this plan? Okay. Now Wavell is proposing a plan for transferring all the portfolios in Governor General's Executive Council to the Indians. Right. All the portfolios and even expanding Governor General's Executive Council to Indians. Follow this. Okay. All the portfolios except defense. Why? Because you see, defense, continued to be the portfolio of Governor General and Viceroy. Okay, it is his responsibility. Governor General cum Viceroy's responsibility to defend India. So, except defense, all the portfolios would be transferred to the Indian leadership. Okay, let there be equal representation of, Congress Party and Muslim League. But very interestingly, Wavell Plan had not used the word Congress Party. They had used the word caste Hindus. See, this is the problem. Okay. Wavell Plan suggested for what? Wavell Plan suggested for, okay, reorganization and expansion of Governor General Executive Council. Governor General Executive Council. Okay, reorganization and expansion of Governor General Executive Council. Next, all the portfolios, all the departments or portfolios, okay, to Indians, okay, to Indians, right, except defense. Okay, including external affairs. External affairs would also be transferred to Indians. Only one department would remain with Governor General, that is defense. Next, number 3, okay, due representation, equal representation. Okay, equal representation for both Congress and Muslim League. The expression given was equal representation for caste Hindu. They are not used the word, Congress, caste Hindu and Muslim League. Okay. Next, representation would also be made for, okay, non-Hindu and other minorities. Non-Hindu and other minorities. Representation for, okay, non-Hindu and other minorities. Right. Right. This is the interim arrangement. Okay, interim government until the transfer of power takes place. Until the, constitution drafted, and the dominion status granted. Dominion status granted, not the word transfer of power, until the dominion status granted. Okay. So these are the proposals under Wavell Plan and Simla Conference. To discuss this plan, Simla Conference was held. All the leaders, Congress Party, Muslim League leaders, whoever that were, not actually no Muslim League leader, but all the political party leaders, whoever that were arrested, they were all released from the jails so that they would participate in the Wavell Plan. Okay, I mean they would participate in the Simla Conference, right? To discuss the plan, Simla Conference was held on June 25th. June 25th, 1945. Okay. This was again an attempt to sort out the problem, okay, communal problem, and also once for all to end the deadlock. Okay, what the others failed to do, now Wavell wanted to prove that he could do it. Understand? So an attempt was made, genuine attempt to bring together the two parties. Now here the problem is, you see, where things went wrong. Okay. You are giving equal representation, okay, for Congress and the Muslim League. Okay. Congress is the majority party. Okay. Objections for this plan, I am telling you, okay, from the Congress party's side. Number one, how you use the word, okay, Hindu. Why do you use the word Hindu? Okay. It is that Muslim League is representing Muslims, you say Congress is representing the Hindu. Congress party definitely a secular party above all the considerations. Okay. So that expression of the word Hindu, okay, caste Hindu and Muslim League, it is objection number one for the Congress party. Second, number two, Muslim League a minority party. How can you equate a minority party with the majority Congress party? You can't equate a minority party with the majority Congress party, right? Sharing portfolios equally, departments equally. Muslims constituted what? Not even one-third at the time. Now Muslims constituted only 20%. Okay, now 20% Muslim population, you want to share power on par with Congress party. Next, number three, in working out his plan, Wavell in constant touch with Jinnah, inviting Jinnah, means definitely Wavell is ready to accept Jinnah as the leader of the Muslims. That is not acceptable to Congress party, right? How would you accept Jinnah as the sole leader of the Muslims? Okay. So these were objections for Congress party. Okay. Whereas you see, Jinnah was too happy. Okay. Too happy for two things. Number one, he is going to share power. Okay. Muslim League is going to share power with the Congress party, on par with Congress party, with equal number of departments. Number one. Next, number two, Wavell recognized him as the representative of the Muslims by inviting him. Okay. Means he is a representative recognized by the British. Jinnah was too happy. Understand? So discussions were held. Okay. And you see from Congress party's side, okay, Azad was the president then. Okay. Jawaharlal Nehru took part in the discussions. Jawaharlal Nehru took the lead in the discussions. Okay. First day discussions were held in a cordial atmosphere. Okay. Both the parties agreed to share power because Congress party not bothered about these objections. They wanted first to sort out the problem with the Muslim League. They are ready to go for certain concessions to the League. Okay. So it was worked out, a plan was worked out very well. Okay. Muslim League agreed to share power. Then where actually the agreement had taken place? Agreement had taken place, okay, to share power equally. Number one. Okay. Representation to the untouchables, representation to the minorities and other backward castes. Each to be given one representative. Untouchables, one representative. Okay. Minorities, one representative. Other backward castes, other minorities, one representative. Other backward castes, one representative. Three will go to them. Okay. Congress will have 5. Okay. and Muslim League will have 5. Okay. 5, 5, okay, plus 3. I told you one for, backward caste, other backward caste, right? One for other minorities and one for untouchables. Okay. So together how much? 13. Okay. Plus Governor General including, plus 1, right? Altogether 14. Viceroy's Executive Council with 14 members. This is the equation they have worked out. Okay. And now Muslim League wanted, veto power. You see the problem. Muslim League wanted a veto power. If Congress party comes out with a proposal on a legislation, that legislation not acceptable to Muslim League, okay, then Muslim League must have the veto power. Okay. Any bill, any resolution that would be passed, any act that would be suggested by the Congress party must be acceptable to two-thirds of the members of the Executive Council. Two-thirds of the members of the Executive Council and particularly minorities. That means Muslims. Okay. Otherwise it will not be it will not be accepted as a law. It will not be acceptable to Muslim League. Muslim League must have the veto powers. Okay. This was also accepted. Okay. Everywhere you are playing into the hands of Muslim League, right? Into the hands of Jinnah. Okay. Then why Simla conference failed? You see, Simla conference failed. Okay. Unfortunately, Simla conference failed. Simla conference failed. Okay. On the question of representation. Okay. Now Jinnah's stand was, you see the problem here. Okay. How they are going to share the portfolios? Congress 5, Muslim League 5, right? Right. Then you see, I told you, other minorities 1, backward caste 1, and untouchables 1, right? Okay. So 13, and I told you Viceroy. Viceroy is the chief commander, right? Viceroy. Okay. He will have. He will also be added. Put together 14. Okay. Now Jinnah's stand was that any Muslim member entering into the Executive Council, he must be acceptable to the Muslim League. Okay. In other words, you see, from its quota of 5, Congress party shall not nominate any Muslim member, right? If any Muslim member would be appointed by Congress party from its quota of 5, that must go with the consent of Jinnah. That means it must go with the consent of Muslim League. Consent of Muslim League means consent of Jinnah. Are you understanding the problem? If Congress party in its 5 portfolios nominate any Muslim member, it must be acceptable to Muslim League. If it is not acceptable to Muslim League, means that is not valid. Okay. This created the problem. Okay. Hope you are understanding. Okay. Congress is not asking for the same right. If Muslim League is sending 5 members, Congress is not telling you, Jinnah, whoever that 5 you are appointing, okay, they must go with our consent. It's not. Whereas Jinnah is putting forth the condition that Congress should not nominate any Muslim member in its quota of 5 portfolios. Any Muslim member from Congress party, to join Executive Council, it must go with the approval of the Muslim League. And definitely this is not acceptable to Congress party. Okay. Why Simla conference failed? Simla conference failed when Jinnah insisted that Congress party shall not nominate any Muslim member from within its quota of 5 portfolios. Okay. Any Muslim member, must be acceptable. Nomination of any Muslim member must be acceptable to Muslim League. Okay. This is not acceptable to Congress party. What are the objections of the Congress party? Why, first of all, try to understand why Jinnah is insisting like this. If Congress party would send one Muslim member, you see Congress will get how many portfolios? 5. You can't expect Congress party to keep all the 5 portfolios for Hindus. Congress party would definitely give one portfolio to Muslim, right? So Congress would send which Muslim candidate? Congress choice would be either Azad, Maulana Abul Kalam Azad, or Ansari. Congress would send either Azad or Ansari as its members, right? Okay. These two were definitely not acceptable to Jinnah. Jinnah always criticized them as showboys. Particularly for Azad, he used to criticize Azad as showboy of the Congress party. Understand? So, Azad or Ansari entering into the executive council not acceptable to Jinnah. The idea here is, by insisting on a condition like this, Jinnah is trying to block the chances of either Azad or Ansari entering into the executive council. That is the real idea, number one. Next, number two, okay, by insisting on a condition like that, you will get more so another member, If Congress party sends one member that is acceptable to Muslim League, means Muslim League's strength would go to 6. From 5 to 6 it will go. Hope you are understanding that. That would be an advantage for Muslim League. Above all these things, the real problem I tell you. Above all these things, why Jinnah insisted on this? Okay. If Congress party, to send its Muslim member to executive council, okay, it must consult Jinnah. Right? That's what is the condition. You are consulting Jinnah means you are accepting Jinnah as the leader of the Muslims. Every time you have to take his permission to send your member, right? This is one way Jinnah is trying to make Congress party accept him as the sole leader. Are you understanding? He already made English to accept him as the sole leader. Wavell invited him. Problem is Congress party not accepting. So how to make Congress party to accept him as the sole leader? That's why Jinnah insisted on a condition like this. And definitely that is not acceptable to Congress party. And Simla conference ended up as a failure. Get the point? I tell you the other reason also. Wavell suggested for 4 Muslim members and 1 non-Muslim League Muslim member. Muslim League, 4 members. There is 1 non-Muslim League member from Punjab. Wavell wanted to promote, the Unionist party. Unionist party is not under Muslim League, right? It's a separate party. You must give representation to the Unionist party. And that is not acceptable to Jinnah. Jinnah is insisting on this condition to make himself supreme. The, unquestioned leader of the Muslims of India. He wanted both Congress party and the Unionist party to accept this. That is more so not acceptable to Congress. That's why Simla conference failed. An attempt to forge the unity between the two ended up as a failure. Right. Now after this Simla conference, I told you this happened in June 25th, right? Simla conference. Wavell plan ended up as a failure. After this, you see war ended. Okay. Before the end of the war, another important thing, in July, elections were held, in England, because the war is about to end. You remember, war started in 1939. For 6 years, the elected government is not there, right? It's not an elected government. So elections were to be held. Elections were held in England. One good development about these elections, the Labour Party came to power. Labour Party had all sympathy for India, right? Clement Attlee became the Prime Minister. Very interestingly, Churchill was the man leading the, England in the war front, Conservative Party of Churchill. It was very badly being defeated in the elections. Conservative Party's defeat is a surprise, because this man was responsible for defending England very well. But people voted Conservative Party out of power. Churchill's Conservative Party defeated. Clement Attlee's Labour Party came to power. Labour Party, even before coming to power, Labour Party committed itself for transfer of power to India. A good development in the interest of Indians. Okay. It is not that the Labour Party had its, great sympathy for India that they are planning to go for transfer of power to India. I told you the reason. Practical reason was England very badly affected England. Okay. It was war created a total devastation of England. Okay. Its trade, commerce, industry, agriculture, everything got crippled, virtually devastated. So, poverty-stricken England so badly affected England, definitely not in a position to rule India. India no more an asset for England, it's more a liability. You have to pay salaries for the officers and all that. Administrative expenses will go quite high. Okay. And more than all these things, the problem between, Muslim League and Congress Party, a different headache altogether. Serious headache, I should say. Right. That's why you see, Labour Party had its own reasons to think about transferring power to India. A good development. Right. Winter elections. Now you see, once elections were over in England, okay, 1945, you had elections, held. Elections held for both Imperial Legislative Assembly and Provincial Legislative Assemblies. We call it as winter elections. Okay. When elections were held, winter elections were held for the Central Legislative Assembly. First elections were held for the Central Legislative Assembly. When elections were held for the Central Legislative Assembly, altogether you see, you have 102 members, Indian members, elected members in the Central Legislative Assembly, 102. Of the 102 members, when the elections were held for the Central Legislative Assembly, Congress Party got 59. See this. Congress got 59. Muslim League got 30. Then you see, Europeans, right? Seats were reserved for Europeans also. Europeans, you got 8 Europeans elected. And Akali Dal, in Punjab you have Akali Dal representing 6. Akali Dal got 2 members. Now you see, count down all this. 89, see 10, 10 plus, 30, 40, 40 plus 59, Then you have independents also, You have independents 3, add independents, Independents 3, now got it, altogether 102, right? 102 members, right? Elected members. Right. See, Congress Party in the Central Legislative Assembly, Sharat Chandra Bose. He was the head of the Congress Party in the Central Legislative Assembly. Sharat Chandra Bose. Sharat Chandra Bose. S.C. Bose. Right. And Muslim League represented by Jinnah. Muslim League represented by Jinnah. This is how elections were held. For the Central Legislative Assembly, when elections were held, this was the scenario. Means you see, Congress played very well. Congress played very well, getting more than half, 59 seats, absolute majority. Muslim League equally fared very well. Now you can notice this point, please understand. In the 37 elections, Muslim League's performance was very bad, I told you. Right? In the 37 elections, you remember one thing, I told you already. More than Congress Party, more than Muslim League, Congress got more Muslim votes. Congress Party polled more Muslim votes than Muslim League in the 37 elections. Now in the 45 elections, you have Muslim League getting all the 30 seats reserved. Muslim League had 30 seats reserved, they got all the 30 seats elected. Understand? That's definitely a better performance of the Muslim League. Okay. Now you see the performance of these two parties at the provincial level. You remember 11 provinces you have? Okay. In the 37 elections, Congress formed governments in 8 provinces. Right. Muslim League could not form any government in any province. Remember? Now this is entirely different now. Okay. In the provinces, okay, see the difference, how it performed. Okay. Congress also fared extremely well at the provincial level. At the provincial level also, Congress party relatively fared well. Okay. In the 37 elections, okay, Congress had 714 seats. Okay. In the 1937 elections, in the provincial level, Congress got 714 seats. Right, 714 seats. Right. Now, in the 1946 elections, okay, provincial elections, Congress won 923. Okay. Can you make out here? Definitely, there is a great margin. Right. The League, Muslim League, okay, in 1937, okay, Muslim League in 1937 got 109, only 109. Okay, 109 out of Muslim quota, 109 out of, okay, 492. That means Muslim League's performance in 1937 elections was very bad. It got only 109 seats in the provinces, in all the provinces of 492 seats. That's why I said in 37 elections, Muslim League's performance was very bad. Whereas in 1946, now you come to 1946, Muslim League won 425, 425 out of 492, 425 out of 492. Okay, that means nearly 86%. Okay, definitely Muslim League's performance was much better, okay, in the provincial legislative assemblies. Okay, I told you Muslim League could not form government, at least even in one single province in the 37 elections, right? Now Muslim League formed governments. Muslim League formed governments in, okay, Bengal and Sindh. In 2 places, Muslim League formed governments. In Bengal, with absolute majority. In Sindh, it's also Muslim League's government. In Punjab, the problem was coalition government. In Punjab also, Muslim League emerged as the single largest party. Okay, I am telling you how Muslim League could strengthen its position in the 46 elections. Okay, in Punjab, Muslim League emerged as single largest party, but not in a position to power. Okay. Kaiser Hyatt of the Unionist Party. Okay. Kaiser Hyatt. Okay. He was supported by Congress, Akalis, okay, Hindus, all supporting him. That's how he came to power. Okay. Otherwise, Muslim League had, definitely you can't ignore the role of Muslim League in Punjab. Single largest party. So you understand one thing, Muslim League in a position to decide the politics of Punjab, Muslim League in power in Sindh, Muslim League in power, with absolute majority in Bengal. So position of Muslim League in 46 elections was definitely much better. Okay. Now answer my question. Was this a verdict for Pakistan? Can we take this victory for the idea of Pakistan? How Muslim League could strengthen its idea? See, Muslim League very effectively used this idea. Idea of what? Okay, Bhagavad Gita versus Quran. Vote for Muslim League means vote for Islam. Sentiments, playing with the sentiments of the Muslims. You don't have a religious sentiment like that for Congress party. Congress party's strength could only be what? Okay, a party leading the freedom struggle, a party definitely going to get independence for India. Okay. Congress party can't play with sentiment, right? Sentiment particularly of religious color, right? Using religion as a card, okay, powerful card. Muslims, Muslim League strengthened its position definitely. Okay, that's why you see Jinnah before 1925 different is after 1925. Okay, is an entirely different person before 25 and after 25. Okay. Communal politics taking a very serious turn here. Okay. Now the question, can you take this as a verdict for Pakistan? My question is this. You can't take this as a verdict for Pakistan. Why? Because okay, only 10% of the Indian population participated in the election. Okay, I told you the criteria. Okay, property, right? So participation of this 10% of voters, how can you say that it's a verdict for Pakistan? Okay, it's definitely not. I'll tell you further why it is not a verdict for Pakistan in subsequent, developments. Okay. So, in what point here is 46 elections, definitely Muslim League strengthened its position. One cannot undermine this. There's a question. Okay, ignoring the strength of Muslim League even after 1947 elections is meant, it means turning blind eye to the realities. That's a question you are asked to give a comment. Means by 1946, definitely Muslim League is in a position, in a commanding position. Okay. But I don't say that it's a verdict for Pakistan. Why? Because majority section of the Muslims not participated in the voting. Okay. And secondly, okay, you have more than the Muslims. Okay. More than the Muslims of Northwest and the East Muslim majority provinces, we have more Muslims than Muslim majority provinces in proper India. I mean central provinces and the United Provinces, right? So this cannot said to be a verdict for Pakistan, right? But it's a very important development. Now elections are over, right? Governments were formed. Congress party formed governments in 8 provinces. Okay, definitely Congress, the leading party, majority party. Right. Now you see transfer of power. How we proceeded towards in the freedom struggle towards transfer of power. Prime Minister Attlee announced in January that all party delegation would visit India. All party delegation would visit India to decide the question of transfer of power. Okay. I mean all party delegation, you have the parties, right? Okay. Labour Party, Conservative Party. Representatives of these parties would visit India to decide the question of transfer of power. Okay. So Conservative Party and Labour Party representatives, they visited India in February. All party delegation visited India in February 1946, right? And they recommended for transfer of power. Okay, green signal for transfer of power. Okay, so a major, turning point. All party conference accepting for transfer of power to India. Okay. While this all party conference was in India, okay. Now you see in the same month, February 1946, okay, mutinies started. Okay, Indian Navy officers, okay, Indian Army officers went on rioting. Okay, you call it as Bombay Naval Ratings. Okay, this is the last act of protest, my dear. Last act of Indian protest against the British in the freedom struggle. Okay. In February 1946, Bombay Naval Ratings started. Navy. Rating, Ratings. Okay. Bombay Naval Ratings means the Indian officers working in the British Army, in the Navy, they went on rioting. Riots started. Where all the riots started? Riots started in Cochin, Kandla, Colaba, Bombay, Karachi. In all these places, riots started. Now the question here is why the riots? Okay. I already told you, okay, the impact of iron air trials. Remember, in yesterday's class I told you iron air officers were kept as prisoners in the Red Fort, Delhi. The trial of iron air officers started. Okay. This trial appealed to the emotional aspects of India's nationalism. Okay. I told you Congress party constituted a defense council, right, with Asaf Ali as president. Okay. Bhulabhai Desai secretary. Okay. Jawaharlal Nehru. Okay. Tej Bahadur Sapru, Katju. These were all the lawyers. Okay. Defense council. Okay. Advocating the case of INA officers, right? While discussing the role of INA, I told you people, okay, that INA scored a point here. It posed a question before the Indian Army. Question, who is the real Indian soldier? INA soldier fighting for his country or the soldier working in the British Army fighting for the sake of British? Okay. So you see, INA definitely created a situation. That's what I told you, at least observation also. Created a situation where the army could not, British could no longer function, right? So INA riots, okay, riots called Bombay Naval Ratings, okay. This started Bombay Naval Ratings, Indian, army riots, okay, for the reasons, number one, okay, trial of INA officers. Number two, okay, after the war, you see what happened. The racial discrimination of the British continued. Okay. There was a sharp cut in the salaries of the officers. Okay. This reduction of salaries and sharp cut in the salaries was affected to the Indian officers, not for the British. Okay. So why the discrimination? Okay. Economically ruined England, financially ruined England. Okay. It is saving its expenditure by cutting short of the salaries of the Indian officers, but not the British. Right? Against this discrimination also, the riots started. Okay. The implication of these riots is what? Implication, you see the riots, what happened during the riots? Okay, Union Jack, that is the England's flag, it was, half-mast. It was made half-mast. Our Indian flag was hoisted. Our Indian soldiers refused to take the orders of the British officers and serve them. Understand? On the other hand, our officers appealed for the intervention of the Congress party leaders. Okay, Congress party leaders, Azad, okay, Babu Rajendra Prasad, Sardar Patel appealed to the Indian officers. And even Jinnah. Jinnah also asked the Indian officers to exercise utmost restraint. Understand? Means army is ready to follow the instructions and the orders of the Indian leader, definitely not the British. Means you can understand one thing very clear here. British totally lost control over army. Lost control over army means that's the end of the civil administration of the British. Okay, that's why it is said. It is said that it is the last nail in the coffin of the British administration in India. Okay, last nail, you understand, in the coffin. Okay, this is the last attempt which made British to understand that their days numbered in India. Clear? Bombay Naval Ratings, very important. Now you see it is that all party delegation agreed for transfer of power. Okay. Prime Minister Attlee made another announcement, March 1946. Okay. That is what is called Cabinet Mission Plan. Okay. The announcement of Prime Minister Attlee was that Cabinet Mission would address the problem of the transfer of power. It will work out the modalities of transfer of power. Now the question is how to transfer power. Okay. All party delegations said they have no objection. Then how to work out the transfer of power? That is the question. Right. To work out these modalities of transfer of power, cabinet mission would come to India. This was the announcement of the Prime Minister Attlee. Right. Cabinet mission, okay, March 1946. Okay. Cabinet mission consisting of 3 members. Right. Patrick Lawrence, chairman of the cabinet mission, right? Patrick Lawrence was the Secretary of State at that time, Secretary of State for India. He would be the chairman, right? Then Sir Stafford Cripps. Kindly tell me, Cripps represents which party? Okay, that is a question in UPSC. In the cabinet mission plan, you have Sir Stafford Cripps. Remember Cripps mission plan? Cripps was sent to India by Winston Churchill. That means Cripps comes under Conservative Party. Okay, Cripps, the other member. Okay, right? The other member, A.V. Alexander. Okay, Cripps was the chairman of the Board of Direct Taxes, right? Okay, he was the chairman of the board, okay, Board of Taxes, right? A.V. Alexander, okay, then he was the chief of Royal Admiralty, right? So these were the 2 members, okay, Cripps and A.V. Alexander. Patrick Lawrence, Secretary of State for India. These 3 constituted cabinet mission. They were to work out the modalities of transfer of power. Now cabinet mission came to India in the month of May 1946. Right. In June, they published their findings. Okay. They announced their recommendations. Right. What we study as cabinet mission plan recommendations. See the questions in UPSC. UPSC gave questions like this. Did cabinet mission plan strike the balance between expectations and the aspirations? Number 1. I will come again. Did cabinet mission plan strike the balance between expectations and the aspirations? Expectations of the Congress party, aspirations of the Muslim League. Did it strike the balance between the 2? Okay. Next, number 2, was cabinet mission plan, okay, the last genuine attempt to preserve the unity and integrity of India? You are asked to answer these questions. Right. Okay. Now the task before the cabinet mission plan was what? To address the problems of transfer of power. What are the problems of transfer of power? Okay. Number 1, whether to accept dividing India or not. Unless you divide India, you can't satisfy Muslim League. Muslim League is very particular about the idea of Pakistan. So, dividing India or not to divide India, that is one problem. Second problem is, okay, you must have constituent assembly here, right? To draft the constitution, you can't simply say power transfer, right? You must have responsible authority to receive the transfer of power, and also it's expected of you to ensure smooth functioning, right? For that you must have a constitution here, constituent assembly be created. Next, what to do with the princely states? You have 556 odd princely states. What to do with them? Okay. These are the basic questions here, in the transfer of power, involved in the transfer of power. You must address all these questions. Okay. Now, cabinet mission plan, you see the recommendations. Okay. Cabinet mission plan recommendations. Okay. one after the other and try to understand whether it really addresses the problem of both the parties or not. Okay. Here, when I am telling you these recommendations, better you remember why Muslim League asked for Pakistan, on what basis? On what basis? Okay. Remember, Chaudhry Rahmat Ali, when he published the pamphlet Now or Never, he had enlisted the reasons. Okay. Why they are asking for Pakistan? You remember I told you, Muslims constitute 1/3 of India's population. That 1/3 of India's population is twice more than that of any European country's population. That way, Muslims a sizable population, right? They require definitely a status of a nation, number one. Next, number two, second reason why Muslims ask for Pakistan. There is no guarantee that Congress party would honor the promises. Congress party supported the, Muslim League's claims for separate communal electorates, right, in the Lucknow Pact. Same Congress party in Motilal Nehru Committee report 1928 rejected separate communal electorates. So how to trust the Congress party? Next, number two, when Muslim League made its proposals for coalition governments, Congress party rejected the proposals, refused to take the support of League. So how to trust Congress party? Right. Third problem here is Congress party, majority party of India, definitely. You can't stop this majority party capturing power. They would definitely come to power at the center, right? So Congress party coming to power at the center, okay, may legislate, okay, on issues concerning the Muslims. Okay. Then how to, stop that? How to counter it? There is every possibility of Congress party, okay, affecting legislation on minority issues. So how to counter it? This is the fear in the Muslim League. Okay. Next, I told you, Muslims are scattered. They are Muslims, right? All over India, scattered. Okay. Of course, there are majority provinces. That's a different thing. That apart, Muslims are also there in central part and the southern part of India, right? They have no geographical expression. They have no geographical expression. Okay. They wanted one united geographical expression for them. That's the reason why they are demanding for Pakistan. Above all these things, I told you, Pakistan was not actually the idea of an ordinary Muslim, common man, common Musliman. Okay. For him, whether India is divided or united, it's not going to solve the problem. Large chunk of Muslim population, illiterate, poverty-stricken. Main problems of the Muslim community, poverty and illiteracy. Understand? So how it is going to solve the problem? Pakistan is going to solve the problem for them. They are not bothered about this question, Pakistan. Pakistan is from the beginning the demand of the elite, the aristocrats. Okay. Aristocrats and the elite, not of the common Musliman. Right. So Cabinet Mission Plan now understood all these problems. Why Muslims were asking for Pakistan. Now you have to provide a solution to this problem. Right. Solution, if you go for dividing, that is not acceptable to Congress party. Congress party wants a united India. Whereas Muslim League is asking for a divided India. This is where the real problem lies. Now, how Cabinet Mission Plan handled the issue? Very well attempted, good attempt on their part. Okay. Now we see the recommendations of Cabinet Mission Plan. Recommendations of Cabinet Mission Plan, number one, a union of India. Okay. That's where they said. Okay, they are for a united India. Okay. Union of India with British India and princely states. Okay. Union of India with British India, the territory under the direct control of the British, and princely states. That means here they went back to 35 Act. 35 Act provided for, a federal government, right, with British India and princely states. Same thing. So let there be unity of India with British India and princely states. This is where they struck down definitely the idea of Pakistan. Let there be a united India with British India and princely states. Number one, first recommendation. Number two, central government. I am reading out the cabinet mission plan recommendations. Follow this one after the other very carefully. Okay. I can't write all these things. It's a time-taking one. You can note down. A central government with limited powers. Limited powers, defense, currency, and communications. That's all. Okay. They are central powers. Defense, currency, and communication. Center with limited powers. Next, number three, provinces. Provinces with absolute autonomy. Okay. Are you understanding? Okay. Try to understand the implied idea behind these recommendations. Provinces will have absolute autonomy. Remember, Jinnah asked absolute autonomy for provinces. Okay. What is provincial autonomy? Provincial autonomy means provincial governments would have all the powers under their control in the respected departments. Already, if you understand, 35 Act provided for division of power. Powers were divided into central, provincial and residuary. Right? We can call it as concurrent, right? Now, what are the powers that were given to the provinces? Provincial government will have absolute freedom in enjoying them. This is what is provincial autonomy. Okay. Provincial autonomy for the provinces. Next, provinces has the right to secede. Okay. But only after 10 years. Let me tell you, cabinet mission plans recommendations valid for 10 years. Okay. Provinces would have the right even to secede. Provinces would have the right even to form themselves into groups and draft a new constitution for them. Okay. Provinces can form into groups and draft constitution for themselves. Understand? So, absolute provincial autonomy. And residuary powers, that means concurrent powers, would rest with the provinces. Center was made only for namesake a center. A weak center, you understand? Cabinet mission plan recommending for provinces with absolute autonomy. Cabinet mission plan recommending for residuary powers to the provinces. If you remember, 35 Act provided for residuary powers to the center. Motilal Nehru Committee recommended residuary powers for the center. Now Cabinet Mission Plan has recommended for residuary powers to the provinces. Means it wanted very strong provincial governments. Okay. I will tell you why it recommended like that. Okay. Next, you see, it recommended for Constituent Assembly. Constituent Assembly to draft the constitution for India. This Constituent Assembly members would be elected by provincial legislative assembly members by means of single transferable vote to the value of 1 million population, one vote. Hope, are you understanding? We have 11 provinces. Each province will elect its members to the Constituent Assembly. Okay. On an average, 25 members on an average, get me right. On an average, 25 members from each legislative assembly, each provincial assembly. Okay, these members would be elected to the, Constituent Assembly. Princely states can send their nominees. Princely states can nominate their nominees. Okay, not more than two nominees, right, for every princely state. These members, I mean elected members by the provincial legislative assemblies and nominated by the princely states would come together and they sit together and draft the constitution for India. Right. This constitution may or may not be acceptable to the princely states. They may accept or they may not accept. Princely states have every right. Understand? So Constituent Assembly, okay, to draft the constitution. Right. Next, grouping pattern. This is the very most controversial part, I should tell you. 11 provinces of India divided into 3 groups. Group A, B, C. A, Kashmir to Kanyakumari. The entire northern, central, southern part of India comes under Group A. Okay. Group B, okay, Punjab, see this. Group B, Punjab, Sindh, NWFP, Northwestern Frontier Provinces, Group B. Group C, Assam and Bengal. This is grouping pattern. Okay. Why grouping pattern? You can make out very clearly. Yet Group A, completely Hindu, Hindu majority. Not, I don't say completely, Hindu majority. Group B, Muslim majority. Punjab, Sindh, NWFP. Group C, again Muslim majority. Bengal. Plus you see a portion of Assam, also Muslim majority. Right. Comes under Group C. Right. This grouping pattern, part of Cabinet Mission Plan recommendations, valid for 10 years. Right. During that span of 10 years, no group shall change its province. Right. Provinces have every freedom, every liberty to change their groups after 10 years. Right. Group A, you see, central provinces, Madras presidency is in Group A, right? After 10 years, Madras presidency can join Group B or Group C. After 10 years. During these 10 years, provinces shall not change their groups. They must remain within the groups allotted. This is grouping pattern. Right. Why this grouping pattern? I told you already. Try to understand. Understand the purpose of Cabinet Mission Plan recommendations. They are trying to accommodate most of the demands of Muslim League, most of the ideas of Muslim League here. I will explain further. Now come to the last part. Last part of the Cabinet Mission Plan recommendations. You understand? It outrightly rejected the idea of Pakistan. No Pakistan. Okay. Why it rejected Pakistan? Dividing India into 2 dominions, India and Pakistan, in the words of Cabinet Mission Plan recommendations, would cause tremendous dislocation of resources. Tremendous dislocation of resources. Okay. Cabinet Mission Plan, in a way, warned both Congress Party and Muslim League to be very careful. Understand? Not to entertain the idea of Pakistan by the Muslim League, not to accept the idea of Pakistan by the Congress Party. If partition takes place, okay, in the words of Cabinet Mission Plan, okay, it would be the biggest partition the history of mankind had ever come across. Definitely. You know this, India's partition, the biggest partition history had ever seen. Okay. The biggest partition. Secondly, it's not, viable. That's the other word that they used. Cabinet Mission Plan used the word not viable. What is meant by not viable? I told you already. There is no chance of all the Muslims of India going to Pakistan, all the non-Muslims of Pakistan coming to India. Impossible, your bonds are very strong with the soil, right? We have very strong bonds with our land, motherland. right? Are Muslims and Hindus lived in this place for centuries together. Okay, how can you say that to Muslims to go to Pakistan and non-Muslims to come from there to India? Practically impossible. So what is impossible? Don't talk about it. Muslim Cabinet Mission Plan rejected the idea partition of India, idea of Pakistan, saying that it is not viable. It leads to tremendous dislocation of both human and natural resources. It would be the biggest partition in the history of mankind. Finish. That's all. These are all recommendations of Cabinet Mission Plan. Okay. Now answer the question. Did it strike the balance? Okay. Did it strike the balance between expectations and aspirations? Did it strike the balance between Congress Party and Muslim League? Okay. In a way, yes. You can't think a better solution than that at that particular point of time. No better solution than that at that particular time, at that particular point of time. Finally, what is very important? Unity of India is very important, right? When you are for unity of India, you have to give some concessions and some assurances to Muslim League, right? That's what Cabinet Mission Plan had done. Now, think about one after the other the problems I mentioned for Muslim League. Muslim League's fears are what? Congress Party would come to power at the center. Yes, definitely they will come to power. That's a majority party. Now kindly answer my question. Congress Party coming to power at the center, as per Cabinet Mission Plan recommendations, given wide extensive powers or limited powers? My dear, it's only limited powers. Defense, currency, communication, that's all. Okay. They are given very limited powers. So Muslims had no reason to fear about Congress Party's domination at the center. Next, number two, what is the other fear of the Muslims? Congress might legislate anything on the subjects of the Muslim minority. Congress might legislate on issues connected with the Muslims' religion, culture, right? That is the other fear of the Muslim League. Now kindly tell me, who will legislate on this? Center or provinces? I told you, Cabinet Mission Plan had given wide extensive powers to the provinces. Center cannot legislate on minority religious and cultural issues. Center's role only defense, currency, communication. Right? It cannot legislate on minority issues. Minority issues can only be legislated by provincial legislative assemblies. Okay. If provincial legislative assembly is to legislate on minority issues, Muslim League is in power. Remember, Muslim League is in power in Punjab, Muslim League is in power in Sindh, and Muslim League, in a position to decide the politics of Punjab. So, you Muslims, you are in power wherever you constitute majority. You have no fear of your own Muslim government going against you. Hope you are getting the points what I am telling. Right? So Cabinet Mission Plan definitely had taken into consideration the fears, doubts and apprehensions of the Muslim League. Clear? Now I also told you one thing, geographical expression, right? Now you see grouping pattern. What to provide a geographical expression? Grouping pattern. You see Group B, Punjab, Sindh, NWP. That is a Hindu dominated or Muslim dominated? It is Muslim dominated. Group C, Bengal and Assam, Muslim dominated. Of course, Assam I don't say completely. A portion of particular area, a region, right? Okay, Sylhet area of Assam, it is Muslim, not entire Assam. But definitely you have Muslim domination. Okay. Finally, you can make out here Muslim-dominated provinces of the northwest and the east form into a geographical zone. Right? So you Muslims, if you have any fear, problems that you sense, go to either B or go to either C. Okay, stay there. Don't ask for dividing India. In other words, cabinet mission plan suggested for or provided for guarantees, assurances to the Muslims. At the same time, okay, keeping the unity and integrity of India intact. A united India, at the same time giving securities and guarantees for the Muslims. Take guarantees, take assurances. Don't ask for division of India. It's definitely a good plan at that particular time and condition. Clear? So it did strike a balance, definitely. Right. Okay. Now answer. Now you see the developments. Later developments. When cabinet mission plan recommendations were out, okay, both the political parties were taken aback. Okay, they were very much disappointed. Very interesting. Congress party disappointed because of center with limited powers. Congress party disappointed because of grouping pattern, right? And that too compulsory. Okay. Reservations of the Congress party, right? Muslim League disappointed, very interesting. Because the idea of Pakistan rejected. Actually, there is no reason for Muslim League to feel bad. Muslim League finally got what it wanted. Even Congress also there is no need to feel bad about. Congress wanted a united India. United India, wait for some time, okay, with limited power. Because you can't have both. Either you have a divided India or a united India. If you want a united India, you have to sacrifice certain things. Right? Muslim League got the gist of Pakistan, isn't it? Finally, what became Pakistan? Answer the question. Finally, what became the Pakistan? Right? Punjab, Sindh, NWFP and Bengal, it became Pakistan, right? So, grouping pattern, okay, definitely the gist of Pakistan. Next, Muslim League also got assurances, guarantees. In a way, most of the demands of Muslim League were met here, answered here. Understand? So there is no reason for Muslim League to feel bad. Even then Muslim League felt bad. Felt bad because the idea of Pakistan rejected. Okay. Finally, even though you get everything, sometimes you will not be happy. Because you are very particular about that label, that that title, right? Okay. So Muslim League not happy, Congress party not happy, both the parties were not happy. Okay. Even then, see the tamasha. Even then, both the parties claimed the recommendations as victory. Okay. Each party claiming the recommendations as victory against the other. Okay. Get the point. This is where things went wrong. They were not happy, but outwardly they they claimed recommendations as victory. Even today in our political system also you see some political parties, they will not be happy, okay, on some reforms that were that would be introduced. But they say, yes, finally we are happy. It's a victory for our own idea like that. They will not be happy. Okay. They turn hypocritical, right? Muslim League not happy, Congress not happy. Even then, each party claimed the recommendations as a victory against the other. Okay. It's like, Congress party telling Muslim League, Arey Muslim League, you have no Pakistan. Same now Muslim League telling, Congress party, so what if we don't get Pakistan? Group B is ours, Group C is ours. You Congress party, you have only limited powers, like that, right? Okay. Now the problems with these recommendations, there are recommended problems also. What are the problems? Problems are with the grouping pattern. You see, the whole complicated problem is grouping pattern. Assam in group C, right? Whereas Assam predominantly Hindu, except Sylhet part, Sylhet district of Assam region, okay, Momin Singh, Sylhet part of Assam, these are Muslim dominated areas. Rest of Assam is Hindu. How can you place a majority Hindu Assam into group C? This is number one question. Number two, Sindh. Capital city of Sindh is Bombay. See this. Sindh was divided from Bombay, but capital city continued to be, Bombay only. How can, and then Sindh comes under what? Group B. A province called Sindh in Group B had its capital city in Group A. How would it look like? Okay. It's like, Hyderabad capital city for Andhra Pradesh, even after partition, right? Okay. You can't have it like that, These are the problems with the grouping pattern, right? Okay. But you see, neither of the parties could say no to it. Okay. Neither Congress nor Muslim League could say no to cabinet mission plan delegations, recommendations. Right. Now, as for the cabinet mission plan recommendations, elections were held to the Constituent Assembly. Right. Now you see, Constituent Assembly to be formed. I told you Constituent Assembly to consist of elected representatives and nominated representatives by the princely state. Right. Elected representatives and nominated representatives by the princely states. Right. Then you see, elections were held to the Constituent Assembly. Okay. Towards the end of the month June. Okay. Towards the end of the month June, elections were held. How many seats for the Constituent Assembly? Total number of 292 seats allotted. Okay. Of these 292 seats, total number allotted, 4 remained vacant. Vacant because you see, Akali Dal, the 6, okay, 6 refused to join the Constituent Assembly, right? Okay. So elections were held. Okay. When elections were held, Congress got 201 members. Okay. When the elections were held for the Constituent Assembly, Congress got 201. Muslim League got 73. Okay. Then 8 were independents. Okay. You had 8 members independent. Constituent Assembly elections. Right. And 6 members were from the other parties. Other parties. Okay. I'll read out once again. In the Constituent Assembly, in the elections held, 201 Congress, 73 Muslim League. Okay. Independents 8. Okay. Others, okay. Other parties 6. Okay. So altogether how many? Altogether, okay, 274 plus 8, okay, 274 plus 8, okay, 282 plus 6, 288, right? That's absolutely right. 4 I told you, Muslim League, 4, 6, right? That they refused to join the Constituent Assembly, okay. Their recommendations just remain, their seats remained vacant, 6, right? They refused to join. Okay. So you see, altogether 288 members. Okay. They were the ones elected. Right. I told you, if you remember, okay, from each province on an average 25 members. Okay, 25 members to be elected. Okay, by means of single transferable vote to the value of each vote, each candidate to the value representing 1 million population. That's how it worked out. Okay. So Constituent Assembly, elections were conducted. Now you see the real problem, how it started. In the Constituent Assembly, Muslim League found itself minority again. Okay. Now who is dominating Constituent Assembly? Congress Party. Obviously, you can't expect a minority party to become majority, under any circumstances, right? Now this has a very important role to play. Now I am telling you where things went wrong. Try to understand. Okay. Congress Party dominating Constituent Assembly. Follow this question very carefully. How it is going to draft the Constitution for India? Constituent Assembly's main task is what? Drafting the Constitution. Okay. Now the question is how they are going to draft the Constitution. Simply you have paper and pen, you can't, simply draft the Constitution, right? Okay. On what basis you are going to draft the Constitution? Get the point clear. Are you going to draft the Constitution as per the recommendations of Cabinet Mission Plan or in the interest of the nation? If you are member of the Constituent Assembly, follow this question, very important question. If you are member of the Constituent Assembly, you will draft the Constitution as per the interest of the nation or as per certain, guidelines given to you by someone. Hope you are understanding the question. Okay. Now this question was asked to Jawaharlal Nehru. Okay. Jawaharlal Nehru, okay, a journalist asked Nehru. Okay. Nehru, kindly tell us how Congress Party dominating Constituent Assembly would draft the Constitution. Would it draft the Constitution as per the recommendations of Cabinet Mission Plan or it would draft the Constitution in the interest of the nation? How it is going to draft the Constitution? Nehru, a great Democrat. Okay. You may excuse me if I say this. Great Nehru could not understand the idea behind the question. Okay. Had he understood the idea behind the question, things wouldn't have turned bad. Okay. Right. Question was asked by a journalist by name Gupta to Nehru. Okay. Asking Nehru whether Constituent Assembly would draft the Constitution as per the recommendations of Cabinet Mission Plan or in the interest of the nation. Right. Nehru here gave a categorical statement saying what? Constituent Assembly, supreme, right? Constituent Assembly, supreme sovereign body. Definitely it would draft the Constitution in the interest of the nation. Okay. This was what actually Jinnah was waiting for. Jinnah not happy with Cabinet Mission Plan recommendations. But Jinnah had no reason to say that he is not accepting. You can't simply say no, Okay. Then they will ask you a question, why are you telling no? You have to give the answer. On what grounds you can say that you are not accepting Cabinet Mission Plan recommendations? Okay. Now Jinnah got an excuse in the statement of Nehru. Because Nehru says Constituent Assembly is at freedom and liberty to draft the Constitution as per the interest of the nation. Hope you are getting the point. Means Cabinet Mission Plan recommendations are now absolutely waste. They are redundant, they are futile. It became a futile exercise, right? In the interest of the nation, you can draft the Constitution in whatever way that you wanted. Hope you are getting the point. In the interest of the nation, Congress Party can say a strong center, whereas Cabinet Mission Plan said a center with limited powers, right? Secondly, in the interest of the nation, Congress party dominating Constituent Assembly can say, okay, wide extensive powers for the center, even to legislate on minorities. Constituent Assembly can scrap the provision for provincial autonomy. Constituent Assembly can scrap grouping pattern in the interest of the nation. Array, you can use this word interest of the nation and apply it for anything. Okay. Then how to question you? Because Muslim League, a minority in the Constituent Assembly again. This is a very important development. Very pertinent question also. Okay. It's because Nehru gave a statement like that, Jinnah withdrew his support. Support for cabinet mission plan recommendations. Understand? Now onwards, it proved beyond the control of the Indian leadership. The things happened, they proved it that it's beyond the control of the Indian leadership. Things turned bad to us. Now Jinnah withdrawing his support for cabinet mission plan, Muslim League also not ready to participate in the Constituent Assembly, gave a call for direct action day. See this. Jinnah gave a call for direct action day. Direct action day for Pakistan. Direct action day for Pakistan. Direct action day for Pakistan, August 16, 1946. Direct action day. Even here Jinnah was not confident. Jinnah was simply trying to test the people's support for the idea of Pakistan. He just wanted to see people's reaction. Okay. And very interestingly, I am telling you, no reaction at all in northwestern frontier provinces, Punjab, for direct action day. That's why I am telling you, Jinnah never wanted actually Pakistan, I tell you. Okay, because Pakistan, in the area of Pakistan, what that created, Jinnah was not a powerful leader. Okay. Rather, Jinnah wanted a united India with due recognition to him as the leader of the Muslims. That would serve the purpose of Jinnah, rather than taking a very small Pakistan where he is not at all popular. Oh, we are getting the point. Okay. Now in the Muslim majority province, under the absolute, with Muslim League in power with absolute majority. What is the province? The province where you have Muslim League in absolute majority? Bengal. Right. It was here the real problem started. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been a problem at all, I'm telling you, my dear. Okay. Muslim League's Chief Minister of Bengal. I told you Muslim League has absolute majority in Bengal. Muslim League Chief Minister of Bengal, Syed Suhrawardi. Syed Suhrawardi. He played a controversial role. What is the controversial role? He declared August 16 as a holiday. Declaring it a holiday. Holiday means you are, sponsoring Bandh. Okay. So you are supporting that idea. On the other hand, this Muslim League majority government, criticized for its direct involvement in communal riots. Worst form of communal riots, I am telling you. At Noakhali, in Kolkata. Can you believe it, my dear? Okay, when the communal riots started, for a part of direct action day, the call given by Jinnah, that particular day, more than 5,000 people died. You see this? Worst form of communal fringe gripped the place Bengal first. Okay. Unfortunately, our nationalist movement started with Vande Mataram movement in Bengal. Ironically, our movement ended with that only in Bengal, in the form of communal riots. Riots started first in Bengal. Get the point? I am telling you, no response at all. There are no riots in Sindh and Punjab where Muslims in majority. That's why I am telling you, they never wanted actually Pakistan. It was a problem created by the Muslim leadership for their own vested interests. Right. Now you see the problem. A point of no return, I should say. You have nothing to discuss also. Riots spread very fast. Riots spread very fast to UP, Bihar. From Bengal, UP, Bihar. They entered into Delhi. Worst form of communal riots. Okay, the Indian Army soldiers participated in World War II. Okay, they gave an account that they had not seen that this much of violence and the loss of human life, even in the war, World War. Okay. Mad, people turned mad. Communal fringe, I told you, gripping the nation at that time. Worst form of communal rights. Senseless, people killing each other. Hindu, Muslim, each other killing each other. Understand? When riots entered Delhi, you see, Mahatma was in Delhi, Gandhi. Can you believe it? As many as 5 attempts were made on the life of Gandhi. Okay. Gandhi's grandson, Tushar, he wrote, treatise, let's kill Gandhi. Okay. Not an attempt, 5 times attempts were made on the life of Gandhi, father of the nation. Okay. You can understand the extent to what the riots had gone to. Okay. Mad, communal madness that prevailed. Right. Now, Governor General Wavell, he made another attempt to bring both Congress Party and Muslim League to come together. Okay. He suggested for both the parties to come together and to form interim government. Now it is decided that India is going to get power. Okay. Now it is decided that India is going to get power, right? Until the transfer of power takes place, why not the two parties, Congress and the League, to come together and form an interim government? Okay. In a way, Wavell appealed for both the parties to behave responsibly, and if they come together and form an interim government, the communal riots would subside, right? Giving a chance for cooperation and reconciliation between the two. Okay. Muslim League refused to join the interim government. Already they boycotted Constituent Assembly, right? They are not for joining Constituent Assembly. Now they also decided to boycott interim government. It is that Muslim League boycotted interim government. Wavell asked the Congress Party to form the interim government. Okay. When Congress Party was asked to form the interim government, they formed the government. Okay, taking all the portfolios. Okay. On September 2nd, you see this. September 2nd, 1946. Interim government was formed. Interim government was formed. Okay, with Jawaharlal Nehru. Jawaharlal Nehru as Vice President. Vice President means, you can say within brackets, Prime Minister. Vice President means is the head of the Council of Ministers, right? For the interim government, President, Governor General, right? President of the interim government, right? Governor General Wavell. Wavell himself the President, right? Just like our President of India. Vice President means not like our Vice President. Vice President means he is like Prime Minister, right? So Jawaharlal Nehru, okay. Nehru, he took the departments. What departments he had taken? Okay. Nehru had taken the departments, external affairs and Commonwealth relations. Okay. Nehru in charge of External Affairs Ministry and Commonwealth. That's why Sardar Patel did not interfere in Kashmir issue. Why? Because Kashmir issue was part of external affairs. Okay. Already it became international, right? That's why Patel did not interfere there. So Nehru was in charge of the Ministry External Affairs and Commonwealth Relations. Vallabhbhai Patel, okay, Sardar Patel was in charge of Home. Home and Information and Broadcasting. Minister for Home Affairs and Information and Broadcasting. Baldev Singh, I am giving you the names. Okay. You can note down Sardar Patel for Home and Broadcasting. Next, Baldev Singh for Defense. Right. Then Chakravartula Rajagopalachari in the interim government in charge of education. Right. Then Dr. John Mathai in charge of industries and supplies. Industries and supplies. John Mathai. Right. Then you have C.H. Baba. C.H. Baba in charge of works, mines and power. C.H. Baba in charge of works, mines and power. Then Babu Rajendra Prasad, Minister for Food and Agriculture. Note down these departments. In the interim government, Rajendra Prasad, Minister in charge of Food and Agriculture. Then Asaf Ali in charge of Railways. Next, Babu Jagjeevan Ram, he was given the, great depressive class leader Jagjeevan Ram. He was given the portfolio Labor Ministry. Okay. Then you see, these were the ministers, right? Okay. Muslim League, I told you, was not for joining. Okay. Afterwards, Muslim League realized, they realized that by not joining the interim government, they allowed Congress party to capture power. Now Congress party came to power. So Muslim League revised its strategy. As per the revised strategy of the Muslim League also decided to join the interim government. Now they sent a message to Viceroy expressing their, willingness to join the interim government. Their changed strategy was not only to share power. Actually, they are not interested to share power. Their willingness was only to obstruct the functioning of interim government. They are joining the interim government only to cause obstruction. They wanted to paralyze the interim government. Okay. Now a serious discussion started in the inner circles of the Congress party. If Muslim League joins the interim government, you have to give them 5 portfolios, right? Secondly, either finance or home should go to Muslim League. Okay, either of the two portfolios very important. One is finance, the other one is home. You can't Congress party keep both the portfolios with you. You have to give Muslim League either finance or home. Which department should be given to Muslim League? Okay. Here, Maulana Abul Kalam Azad gave a sane advice asking Sardar Patel to take finance department, give home ministry to Muslim League. Okay. If you give home ministry to Muslim League, it would be their responsibility to stop the communal riots, right? That is the idea. Whereas Sardar, he refused to take over the home ministry. Refused to take over the finance ministry. He had his own reasons. I will be discussing them later. For Sardar, situation gone beyond the control. He already started, working with a definite and concrete idea in his mind. Right? So now you see, finance ministry gone away to Muslim League. From Muslim League's side, Liaquat Ali was given the finance portfolio. Liaquat Ali, finance. Okay. When you see Muslim League resign, afterwards Shanmugam Chettiar, he took over the finance ministry. Now for time being, when Muslim League joined, I am telling you, it was Liaquat Ali, who became finance minister. Right. Then TT, after Liaquat Ali, TT Chaudhry Gar, Muslim League candidate. He was given commerce. Right. Abdul Rab Nishtar. Abdul Rab Nishtar, he was given communications. Okay. Then Gajan Jafar Ali Khan, G. Ali Khan, he was given health. Okay. Then Jogendranath Mandal, he was accommodated by Muslim League. He was given law. These were all the Muslim League members. Right? So interim government was functioned. Interim government was constituted on September 2nd. Okay. Now Muslim League, I told you, their main purpose was to, obstruct the functioning of Muslim League, interim government. They succeeded in doing it. Okay. How they succeeded? Because you see, whole problem was that, Sardar Patel remained as Home Minister. He refused to take finance. I told you, you can't blame it for Sardar. He has his own reasons, right? Now, Finance Minister Liaquat Ali creating problems. Problem is, Finance Minister can interfere in the functioning of any department. Unless Finance Ministry's, consent is given, you can't incur any expenditure. That is where you see the interim government was definitely obstructed. Very key portfolio of finance in the hands of Muslim League, and they obstructed the functioning of interim government. Now Congress party was driven to the extremes. I am telling you, my dear. Unfortunately, the party which continued to talk for the unity and integrity of India was now driven to the extremes. Okay. It became quite clear, very difficult to function with the Muslim League. No chance of rapprochement, no chance of reconciliation with the Muslim League. This is where Congress gradually got the impression, better accept partition. Okay. Why? Because Muslim League not allowing them to function. Right. Muslim League boycotting the Constituent Assembly. Governor General Wavell called upon the Constituent Assembly to go ahead with its own functioning, whether Muslim League would attend or not. Right? Irrespective of Muslim League's participation, Constituent Assembly was asked to draft the constitution. Go ahead with its, proceedings. The day when Constituent Assembly met without Muslim League, that is the day it was decided, I am telling you, that India was heading for partition. On December 9th, 1946, Constituent Assembly met. Okay. Right? In the library, Central Hall of the Library, Delhi. Okay. Constituent Assembly met for the first time 9th December in the library of the Council Chamber, okay, Delhi. 205 members attended the meet. Right. I told you League, okay, nominees of princely states, even princely states nominees, they did not join the Constituent Assembly. On 11th December, the Assembly elected, okay, Constituent Assembly elected on 11th December, Babu Rajendra Prasad as the permanent president. Okay. Then Constituent Assembly made Dr. B.R. Ambedkar chairman of the drafting committee. I don't have to repeat this statement, I think. When Constituent Assembly met, I told you already, Dr. Ambedkar, the man with maximum qualifications, most qualified to chair the drafting committee. Right. Then objective resolution was proposed. Objective resolution, okay, which later became the preamble, right? This objective resolution in the Constituent Assembly was drafted by Jawaharlal Nehru. Okay, mark that. Nehru drafted the objective resolution, which later became the preamble. We adopted it on 22nd January 1947. Right. So Constituent Assembly started its functioning. Right. Then you see in the month of February 1947, Prime Minister Attlee announced, okay, that power would be transferred to India. Okay, independence would be given to India by definitely, not later than June 1948, right? Not August 15. The actual date they first, decided was June 1948. Before that, power would be transferred. Attlee further declared that to effect this transfer of power, Mountbatten, would visit India as the last Governor General. Who was Mountbatten? Mountbatten was the chief commander of England's navy in Pacific Ocean. Navy in Pacific Ocean during World War II. You see, coming to India as Governor General is a prestigious matter, you understand. Definitely highly coveted post. But not at that particular point of time, at that juncture. You know the problem. Problem in India, if you divide India, it's a not acceptable thing for Congress party. If you don't divide India, that is not acceptable to Muslim League. That is the problem. A major crisis in the political system in India. Right. Now you see Wavell, Governor General Wavell succeeded by Mountbatten. Mountbatten, even before coming to India, made up his mind with regarding what to do. He came to India in March 1947. Right. Even before coming to India, I am telling you, Mountbatten had made up his mind with regarding what to do. He is a typical military officer, target, they see the target, that's all. They are not bothered about the implications. Right. You see, he came to India in the month of March, had discussions with all the political parties. These are all only formalities. He had already a plan in his mind. Okay. He had discussions with all the political parties. After the discussions, he announced his plan. He drafted the plan. This plan is what is called Mountbatten Plan. Okay. Mountbatten Plan, there are different names for this. Mountbatten Plan, April Plan, because it's drafted in the month April. Balkan Plan, see the different names. Balkan, B-A-L-K-N. Balkan Plan means balkanizing. It recommended for dividing India and Pakistan. Dividing India into India and Pakistan. That's why it's called Balkan Plan. And let me tell you, Dickey Bird Plan, the other name, Dickey Bird. Dickey, D-I-C-K-I-E, Dickey Bird. That's the nickname of Mountbatten. Mountbatten Plan, also called Dickey Bird Plan. There are different names. Now, what does the plan suggest? Plan suggested for, Mountbatten Plan suggested for dividing India into two dominions, India and Pakistan. Understand? Next, committees, separate committees to decide on the question of transfer of assets and the liabilities. Right? What will go to Pakistan, what will come to India, separate committees to decide. Next, separate committee to draw the boundary lines between India and Pakistan. This committee is what is called Ratcliffe Committee. Ratcliffe. He was made the chairman for boundary lines, drawing the boundary lines. He was given 3 weeks time. See, how can you expect the problem of drawing the boundary line? Is it so easy? So easy to draw the boundary line between India and Pakistan. On what ground, first of all? We are so much intermixed here, it is very difficult to draw the boundary line. Right? Punjab the worst affected, and Bengal affected equally. You have sizable number of the non-Muslims in Bengal even today. Just as that you have Sikhs also in Punjab. Gurdaspur district truncated. Right? That's why some Sikh Gurudwaras went to Pakistan. Even today, it's a major, problem between the Sikhs and the Muslims. Understand? How to draw the boundary line? That too within 3 weeks. Okay. English moved with tremendous speed here. Understand? And in the meanwhile, messing up everything. Understand? Mountbatten Plan suggesting for demarcation of boundaries between India and Pakistan. Okay. Then you see, plebiscite will be held. Okay. In Muslim majority provinces in the northeast, particularly in Assam Sylhet district, and Muslim majority provinces of Punjab. The problem in Punjab, Sikhs you have sizable population, but the problem Sikhs nowhere they constituted a majority. They are scattered. They are not majority at any place in Punjab, but they are sizable. Okay. So here, who are the majority? Muslims are definitely majority. So go by the majority opinion. That's why plebiscite in Muslim majority provinces of Punjab, plebiscite in the Sylhet district of Assam, plebiscite. Okay. Then you see princely states. What to do with the princely states? Princely states were given the right of self-determination. What do you mean by right of self-determination? It is up to them to join India or to join Pakistan, if not, to remain independent. Either to join India or Pakistan or to remain independent. Princely states were given this right called right of self-determination. Look at this. Okay. Means the partition is completed. Okay. This plan was sent for the approval. Okay. Parliament, while approving the plan, made for 2 amendments in June. Right? That's why it's called June 3rd plan. Okay. What are the amendments? Okay. Two governor generals. Two governor generals, one each for India and Pakistan. Okay. Let there be two governor generals and let there be two constituent assemblies for already one constituent assembly for India. Let there be a constituent assembly for Pakistan. Right. The bill was introduced. Bill on transfer of power. Okay. Bill was introduced on transfer of power. Okay. In the parliament. Right. They moved with tremendous speed. Okay. You see this plan, okay, I forgot to mention. Mountbatten Plan, okay, Congress Working Committee, okay, met on June 3rd, 1947, approved the partition plan. That's one reason why you can call it as June 3rd plan. AICC met in Delhi, okay, All India Congress Committee, and finally it also gave its approval for the plan, right? That's how you see the plan finally got approved. Okay. Then English, you see, British introduced in the Parliament the Indian Independence Act. This act was introduced on 4th July 1947. 4th July 1947, Indian Independence Act was introduced. The Indian Independence Bill was enacted. That means it got approved by the Parliament on 18th July. 18th July. That means they moved with great speed, I told you. As per that, okay, August 15 would be the deadline, okay, for the transfer of power to India. I mean, after August 15, the Parliament's control, England's Parliament control would cease. It would end on India. That's what's called, Indian Independence Act. With that, you see, two dominions were created, India and Pakistan. Here in India, Babu Rajendra Prasad, the head of, the president of the Constituent Assembly, Prime Minister Nehru, Vice President. Okay, Vice President. You can't use the word Prime Minister, right? Both, requested Mountbatten to continue as Governor General as a goodwill gesture, because we have relationship with the England, with the English for more than 150 years, right? So, at a goodwill gesture, we requested Mountbatten to continue as Governor General. That's how when India got independence, okay, Mountbatten continued as our Governor General. First Indian to become Governor General, Chakravarti Rajaji. Right. When India got independence, Rajendra Prasad became the president and Nehru became the prime minister. There in Pakistan, it was Jinnah. Jinnah, first Governor General. Right. Liaquat Ali, first prime minister. That's how the freedom struggle ended. End of the freedom struggle. We shall stop here for today.